special good morning to the listeners and viewers of course, the listeners of Classic Radio, viewers of GBN TV. Welcome to today's edition of To The Point. It's Thursday, the 9th day of July, and you know what happens on a Thursday. We host various departments within the RGPF, and today we do have the fire department with us this morning. We have Inspector, of course, Michelle with us this morning, and is it Constable?
Neil and Antoine.
Constable Neil and Antoine. Gentlemen, good morning and welcome. Welcome. How are you doing this morning?
I'm okay for the time.
All right.
Morning, thank you.
Welcome back on the program. The subject matter, I would say, is timely this morning. Are we talking, you know, it's the holiday season. Lots of youngsters, of course, are home. Some of them may be left unattended. Maybe their mom and dad think, well, they're probably old enough to manage themselves. Mm-hmm. So we're talking, fire safety, holiday fire safety, preventing fires, especially during the school break. To get the conversation kicked off this morning, my first question, I want to get it kicked off, in terms of the holiday trends as we're speaking about. What is the most common cause of fire during the, school holidays? And how does the lack of adult supervision increase these risks of unsupervised children?
Okay.
I'm not sure who's going to kick that off for me this morning.
Good morning, listeners. Well, one of the most common cause of this fire is lack of supervision of children.
Yeah.
Not properly supervised, so they have enough energy and enough time to, to play with materials that can ignite. But what we're looking into this period, we want the parents especially to have their children be properly supervised, mm-hmm. Right? Supervised by living a adult or somebody that is responsible enough, because we want our children to be safe.
So true.
Safe during this period. We don't want them to be idly by and then sometimes parents leave things unattended, like your pots and your pot on the fire. They left them iron on because of the hustle and they have children at home. So we're trying to make sure that children are properly safe and properly supervised during this period.
I understand. Because sometimes parents may feel, well, when I'm home, my son may be able to cook up something because I'm home. So him or her know if when mommy's not there, maybe I can do it on my own.
Right.
Because they're not there. And circumstances could go beyond their control.
Right.
Now tell me the importance of, adult supervision when children are at home. Talk to me, how important is that?
Well, it's important because one, it brings a form of safety, mm-hmm. for the children, meaning that they are properly supervised. So in case of an emergency, that parents or that person that is supervising can move with that child with great speed. Take him to some form of help or medical assistance. Then children will be properly supervised again by not doing things that they're not usually done, like plugging on electrical equipment. Children are so inquisitive. They want to light the oven, light the stove. They want to be, do what mommy and daddy do. They're doing things they see. So supervision is very important.
You're looking at it in the analysis where even you're home and you're not home, you should be offering some level of supervision.
Supervision, yes.
You understand? Some level of supervision, whether you're home or not.
Yes.
Some folks may feel, well, I am home, so my son could go put on the TV.
Right.
For some reason or the other, you don't always leave it plugged in, so they feel, I see mom and dad always plugging it in, so I could go plug it in. And some reason as a parent, you may think it's okay.
Right.
But sometimes under the circumstances, it may not always the best practice. At all time, you always maybe let them come to you and say, Mom, I want to put on the TV, or I want to light the stove, or maybe I want to put something in the microwave, and and these things. You should always offer that supervision, whether you're home or not. Offer that supervision.
So in this occasion, it's okay to train them.
Yes.
So they have an idea, but under proper supervision. Yeah. You have to let them know when you're not there. Then
it's not supposed to be done.
Right. Something that come to my thought in the medical field, say if you're not trained, then you don't especially first aid. If you're not training first aid, then you don't want to practice first aid.
All right.
So yes, you have to train them properly, because even home, you might tell your child, you're home and stuff, and tell him turn off the burner, and then instead of he turn off the burner, he put on a burner. So you know what happened there? Gas leak, your house, and then there's an explosion because there is enough heat, and
you could be at another part of the house.
Exactly.
while that is
so we asking parents to have proper supervision. Do not leave your children home with sometimes you're living with a senior person, and then the senior person needs supervision for themselves.
Let's share some common, practical fire prevention tips, especially for homes, and particularly regarding establishing kids-free zone. When I say a kids-free zone, there are areas you may not want to permit your children to be at, especially because it could be fire-prone for some reason or the other, especially around stoves and other dangerous areas. Let's talk to me some practical tips in relation to that.
Well, in relation to in those areas, we speaking about the unattended cookings and stuff. So you might have an adult in the kitchen cooking, and then you have a child or the kids come around in the kitchen. We want to reach out to persons to practice safe cooking. The pot handlers, you turn them inwards instead of outwards.
All right.
Because sometimes the child may come into the kitchen and you cooking, but the pot handler outward.
Yeah.
You moving to take them to a safe area. It could bounce it, or the child could pull it could fall on the child. So practice safe cooking. When you have pots on the stove, you turn the handles inwards. So in moving up and down in the kitchen, it takes away from.
And that's what I surrounded in terms of my statement, in terms of a kids-free zone, especially when you're having your cooking is even could be outdoors.
Outdoors, yeah.
It could be outdoors too. Folks may well holiday season, we do a little barbecue outside or the sort, and youngsters may see the grill could be hot at the time. Not only damage themselves, but cause a fire now, because they sometimes if the use of charcoal or even gas, grills these days, these things could become dangerous.
Yeah, because children do love these things. These are things that attract them.
Yeah.
Fires and so attract them. So they are inquisitive. They want to be a part of the cooking. They want to be a part of the, even storing the pot. They want to taste. So you advise them. You avoid them from being in that area.
Yeah.
When you're cooking, playing in the kitchen is a no also for children.
How important it is for parents to secure hazardous items. When I say hazardous items, I'm speaking in terms of lighters and matches and so forth. How important is for parents to secure these things, especially when leaving the house? And sometimes even though you're at home also, how important is it for them to secure these hazardous items?
Well, it's important to secure those items because kids nowadays, they attracted to the lighters and the matches. So sometimes you may be watching a show and you see something, so you want to practice it, But they may not know it's dangerous for them, so they practice. They may draw a stick. When it light, they feel the heat, they just drop it.
Right.
It falls straight on the mattress or a rug, there goes a fire. Right. So we are appealing to persons at home now that you pay particular attention, that you put them up in cupboards, locked away, lighters, and before you leave home, you make a sweep. Even though you have a parent or a guardian, you check to see if there's any matches, any lighters, anything. You put them up in the cupboards so the kids won't be able to reach them.
I agree.
Especially when especially if you have a parent, one of the parents that is a smoker.
Yeah.
Don't just leave the lighter on the table, leave it on the chair. Some you smoke and you light and you leave it, but the children are observing you. So they may not take it and go on the same chair. They might go into the room.
Yeah.
Because they want to try out now. They might roll a piece of paper and they want to try out now how to smoke. Because they're seeing you doing these things. And they
may not do it in your presence.
Exactly.
Most of the time,
that's why they go into the rooms and they hide to do these things.
Yeah.
They light the match and they may see daddy lighting the match and lighting it. So they do the same thing. So as Antoine already said, when they get the heat, they'll drop it.
Yeah.
And then they drop it on the mattress and
there goes a fire.
And then there goes a fire.
And in the panic now, they may not even want to call mom or dad.
Right, they run outside.
Yes.
Yeah. And even at school on vacation, some kids have multiple gadgets.
Yes.
So we have, sometimes you have the one adapter in multiple space.
Yeah.
They plugged in more than one device and they're using it at the same time. So sometimes you have the cheap adapters.
Yeah.
Sometimes it burns and stick in the socket. The kid may not be aware of that, and they're playing while they plug on. It can have an explosion or a fire start in the socket because of the installation stuck inside there.
I agree with you, because these devices these days, their battery life and stuff may not be for extended period of time, and youngsters feel I want to continue playing that game.
Yeah.
So he's going to plug it on and play it at the same time.
Right.
So that way parental supervision comes into that also. These are the do's and don'ts. I have youngsters of my own. I would say you're not supposed to be playing those games when it's charging.
Right.
You understand? Yes. I will strictly tell them that, hey, you're not supposed to use it while it's charging.
For me, the parent or the guardian, they have to multitask.
Yeah.
Who is ever at home, supervision, they have to multitask. So if you're cooking, now and then you have to make a periodic check with the kids. If they're in the room or in the living room, you make periodic check with them to see what they're doing, or what they have in their possession. You never know, because sometimes you're busy in the kitchen and they playing with the lighters in the room or the matches, whatever the case. Sometimes a fire start or in the electrical socket, yeah, it could have an explosion. But you in the kitchen, you may not hear that. The kids run outside and you're in there and there goes a fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, so periodic check is good.
I mean, youngsters, they feel they're smarter than their parents.
Yeah.
They feel they're smarter than their parents. They may be thinking, well, I can probably do that and get away with it.
Yes.
But not knowing of the dangers that could be incurred there. Your mom and dad could lose their home, and you could lose your home in the presence by playing around with these gadgets and doing that.
Exactly.
All right.
But then another thing, we have like the overloading of the sockets as well. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're washing, you have your blender, or your toaster, everything is working at the same time, and there goes the breaker trip. The common practice, we just go flick the breaker again,
not knowing which one of the problem was coming from.
What's the problem? Which one is instructing it, and then we flick the breaker and we continue our progress. Continue as normal, but remember, you have wires are heating up, they're acting up, they're burning out. So over a period of time, there goes always fire.
Yeah. So and also while you're on that, what we noticed that in Grenada, somebody may build a 16 by 14 house.
Yes.
But at the end of the 2 years, they have a 16 by 16. Because they never really change the wiring of the house. So when they go into that 14 by 16, they put in a fridge and a television. But in process of time,
they add more gadgets.
They added
more gadgets, so making the home bigger.
A microwave. Mm-hmm. They have a bigger television. So the load for the breakers get heavier, but it never seems to change it.
So you're saying that it's important that folks, when they're doing that, they should have a certified electrician come
make an assessment
and check their wiring over a period of time. Maybe most of these things have a lifespan these days in terms of how period of time.
It should be checked every 10 years.
Every 10 years. All right. Gentlemen, we due for a break. Let's take it when we come back. We continue the conversation. Stay with us, folks. To the point. Classic Radio TV and TV. We will be right back. Don't touch it out. Looking for...
Mass is back, and it's bigger and funnier than ever. St. George's Lions Club, Spice Mass Corporation and Grenlec present All Mass 2026 at the Grenada Boys Secondary School on Sunday, July 19th from 3 p.m. Bring the whole family for an afternoon of laughs, local entertainment, exciting prizes, and a special appearance by the Carnival Queen contestants. Tickets are $40 for adults and $15 for children. Available from any Lions or Leo member, Grenadian Optical, and Clear Vision. July 19th at GBSS promises humorous antics and infectious laughter for the whole family. All Mass, we not giving up. See you then. This advertisement sponsored by Demerara Mutual Life. I am with Dem.
Life doesn't stand still. It moves. It grows. It asks you to believe in what's next. Your first car. Owning your home. The business you build. The future you choose to invest in. Life moves in steps. When you're ready to take the next one, we're here to help you move forward with banking solutions designed for life. From vehicle financing and mortgages to education savings, credit solutions, and support for your growing business. Republic Bank. ready for life every step.
Hello Grenada, this is Blackadan. On the 18th of July, I'm welcoming you to Radisson Hotel Car Park for the second installment of Groovy White.
Groovy White, a celebration of groovy music. Blackadan. Famanapi. Nyla Blackman.
It's your girl Nyla Blackman and I will be performing live at Groovy White.
College boy Jesse. Christo. Alma boy, Angie boy, Happy boy, Inspector, Lavaman, Feline Mandela Links, Mr. Killer, Sabrina Francis, and Riggy Atmosphere. Grenadian host, VC, and live from Trinidad, Sunny Bling. General tickets, $100. VIP, only $500. Groovy, White, Radisson Car Park, 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. Saturday, July 18th. Sponsors.
Hello Grenada, this is Blackadan. On the 18th of
Welcome back, listeners. Welcome back, viewers, once again, To The Point, Classic Radio, GBN TV. Officers, welcome back to today's edition of To The Point. I want to focus a wee bit on, let me see if I could jump directly to it. Now, what specific danger would you say of setting fires in open spaces? When I say that, particularly when burning rubbish and so forth, clearing dry vegetation during the dry season. Talk to me in relation to that. What is that specific danger?
Okay,
in terms of setting that
some
fire?
of the dangers of setting fires in open spaces. One, fire can spread very rapidly, especially if outside is dry, leaves and dry grass, and it's very windy. Persons may not really understand the dynamics of setting that fire. So in the process of time, you must go okay and light that fire, and there's no great wind. But as soon as you light that fire, 2 to 3 minutes, the wind speed pick up, and then they have a rapid spread in that fire. Secondly, pose a risk, smoke hazard to people. So when you burn rubbish and vegetation, it can reduce the visibility. One, it can cause breathing problems, especially to people who have asthma, right? People who have respiratory problems, and also people that have spread clothes and so forth, then it hinders
their whole clothes
the progress, right? Environmental problem also, it can cause damages to trees, it can cause damages to wildlife habitation, it can kill animals, that cannot escape from that fire. So that's some of the also air pollution. It can cause air pollution and risk to people and property.
All right. Yeah. Recreational safety is also important, around this time. From time to time, families do go on outdoor activities, whether it's camping or stuff like that. What are some of the safety guidelines would you like to share this morning, especially for that families should strictly follow, to prevent accidental bush and bushfires and so forth? So,
campers, when you out camping, we advise person that if you're setting fires, you have a clear path. At least 6 feet away, you make a clear path. We call it a fire line.
Okay.
And it's 6 feet away from where you're setting that fire. Have some form of water or some form of extinguishing agent on the site.
Yeah.
When you set that fire finish, we advise you that you properly extinguish that fire. You don't partially extinguish it. You properly extinguish it. Make sure that there is no live coal, there is no live spark, nothing. The ashes should be cold as I say, puppy dog nose. We don't want it to. We don't want any no heat source.
Yeah, right.
Any flammable liquid or so forth, you keep it away from that heat. So if you're setting that, if you have to cook outside and you're camping out, we'll make sure that when you live in the camp, that these things are properly taken care of.
All right. I mean, it's important to know. You know, folks always think, well, we're in the dry season. Although we're out of it a bit now because we get in the rain, and they want to go out and do this camping. When they just leave stuff there as it is.
Yes.
You understand? Yeah. Maybe they have a little fire during the course of the night time into the morning, or if they do an overnight sort of camping. So it's important that folks, follow these guidelines.
Exactly.
You understand? Because you could leave it, and when you left, fires could reignite themselves again for some reason. Not even only, but you could get reignited, and you know what could happen, especially if you're in a bushy area or so of the sort.
So you may think that you're okay, it's not much fire, let us leave it, but one little spark, and you won't take it and carry it 2 feet away from that fire, and there is some dry grass or shrubs there.
All right.
Fire spread.
All right. Interesting to note.
Yes.
Now tell me, how can neighbors and local businesses per se in a particular community work together for to monitor open spaces? Let's say we're in a particular community and to reduce the risk of fires, especially during the holiday season.
Well, we advise persons. First thing, if you see something, if you see a small fire, report it.
All right.
Especially if you're unattended. Because most people set fires and they leave.
Yeah.
Right? If you see that happening,
you should only report it, but if it's possible for them to distinguish it, shouldn't they go ahead and do that also?
Yes, you extinguish it if you can. But if not, then you report it. Even after you extinguish, you think you extinguish it, still make a phone call to the fire department stating that we observe a fire, give the size of that fire in that area,
right,
and we extinguish it, but we still like you to come and have we may not go with the fire plans, but we may go with the utility vehicle and have a look at it. We have we call it backpack, with water. We may walk with it, and we may further extinguish or totally extinguish that fire. So maybe the little water you have, you may have a little drinking bottle of water, you may use that, but we may go and totally extinguish that fire. Right. So we urge people, if you see something, say something. If you see a large fire, report it. Don't play hero. Right?
All right.
Open spaces, again, most time we see people like they have the little fireworks and so forth. They might have a little birthday party and they have the little fireworks. If you're having a little fireworks, maybe you didn't get the permission to have it. Make a phone call to the fire department and let your neighbors know. Right? Because sometimes the little fire from the fireworks fall into dry vegetation and spread.
The importance of individuals within the communities informing their neighbors, about when fire's going to be lit, especially you talk in terms of fireworks, because sometimes you may not be given permission because of the close proximity to other place.
Yes.
The importance to inform your other neighbors and other folks within the particular community. The importance of also informing the police or the fire department in relation. How important is that?
Very important. Very, very much important, because we don't want you. For instance, somebody the burning policy, right? It gives us, the law gives persons right to burn, right? Tell them they could burn. They must inform the neighbors, have water on site, and so when people come to the station and they say, okay, we like to burn so and so, we let them know what they lost it, right? But we still advise them, before you burn, make a call to the fire station.
Okay.
Right? We don't want you go and set a fire, and after you set the fire, you call the fire department. Even persons that get permission, they have to call. When they get a license to burn, they have to call the fire department. So we want, so if a neighbor call, right, and state that this person is burning, we ask them certain questions. Did the person inform you that they are burning? They may say yes, but the timing is not right.
Okay.
Right? So we try to ask them to dialogue with the person and let them know. Then you bring a contention between you and that person. So it's important that you inform neighbors, because as we say, primary respiratory problem, children, right? People wash their clothes, and all this sort of thing bring contention.
Just to add to what the inspector said. A lot of persons sometimes call the station or come to the station and request permission to burn, but the fire department don't give permission to burn.
Okay.
We don't give permission to burn. So if you're seeking permission for agricultural purposes, you need to go to the Ministry of Agriculture, the Extension Office, and that's where you put in a claim that you're requesting permission. Then they will direct you from there. After you have granted the permission, you'll be given 2 copies, one to drop at the fire department and one to keep for yourself. So most time persons are asking, they are calling and ask for permission. We just letting them know that we're not responsible for giving permission. And if you have to light for domestic reasons, we ask that before you light, you speak to your neighbors. You have a dialogue.
That common courtesy just
you let them know, hey, I have some stuff to burn. I'm looking at burning tomorrow. If they're at home, they will say, okay, I'm at home tomorrow, so another day could be a better day to burn, and they would give you directives and you work. Sometimes they call and say, Sherry's burning. And sometimes we ask, did you speak to Sherry? No, we're not on terms. So, so we get that a lot. Yes. They don't speak to their neighbors, so they don't go to them, they don't.
But not all the time, if the person not there, you could give them, informing them is by writing too. You could write a notice and give them, you understand? Give them, send it to them, setting that will burning. You may not have a verbal conversation, but you're sending a written notice to them.
Yeah. I mean, it eases the congestion also, that whole tension, that will develop there by you just going ahead and doing it, and then problems arrives just for that,
Yeah, and that we're trying to avoid, because this person may burn this week, Michael may burn this week, it affect you, you feel okay. You didn't call, say you're burning next week, and to affect the other person. So, that is kind of condensed. So we're trying to avoid that person do the right thing when they are burning.
All right. We drew for a break again. Let's take it. When we come back, we continue with the conversation. Stay with us, folks. To the Point Classic Radio, GBN TV. We're talking with the fire department this morning, and we're talking about, of course, holiday fire safety, preventing fire, especially during the school break that is out right now. And it's general information for all, not only for leaving the youngsters home, but there are, of course, adults who are home who sometimes play around with fire too.
Yes.
Play around. Yeah. We're coming right back. Stay with us, folks. Don't touch it dial.
Mixology is back. We're officially on the road to spice up the Carronade 3.0, and it all starts here. Live from GBN Studios every Friday at 1:30 p.m. Streaming across GBN platforms, bringing pure energy, culture, and Spice Man's vibes straight to your screen. Hosted by Charlton, powered by Graphic Sound System, featuring fresh faces and seasoned stars. Mixology is what the culture takes center stage. WhatsApp 407-8458 now to secure your spot on Mixology. And don't miss the repeat broadcast at 8:30 p.m. This is Mixology, the heartbeat of Spice Mass. Don't miss it.
Old Mass is back, and it's bigger and funnier than ever. St. George's Lions Club, Spice Mass Corporation and Grenlec present Old Mass 2026 at the Grenada Boys Secondary School on Sunday, July 19th from 3 p.m. Bring the whole family for an afternoon of laughs, local entertainment, exciting prizes, and a special appearance by the Carnival Queen contestants. Tickets are $40 for adults and $15 for children. Available from any Lions or Leo member, Grenadian Optical, and Clear Vision. July 19th at GBSS promises humorous antics and infectious laughter for the whole family. Old Mass, we not giving up. See you then. This advertisement sponsored by Demerara Mutual Life. I'm with Dem.
welcome back once again to our listeners. Welcome back, viewers, officers. Welcome back. I want to focus our conversation in this segment on escape plan. This is important. Why? When I say this, families from time to time, we know fires occur and we hear loss of lives.
Yes.
During that process. How important is it to create a family fire escape plan? And what is the best practice for, especially also in practicing it with children?
Right. For me, person should have families. If you have a family at home, you should create an emergency plan, escape route. So everybody should know at least 2 ways out in the house.
Yeah.
So you practice that with your kids, and you have to have a meeting area or a head count area. So you have to let them know where the head count area is. So, and another thing, do not re-enter the houses, because persons or kids, sometimes they may have a tablet or a laptop or a phone, an iPhone.
Yeah.
Yes, there is an emergency, there is a fire in the building. We're seeing instances where persons re-enter that house, and then somebody has to go in and rescue that person. So there again, you put your parent or the guardian at risk.
Thinking that phone or tablet is so important that I have to go back and get that.
You're out already. So we advise persons, when you're out, you stay out. So you practice the drills with the family.
Yeah.
You know at least 2 ways out in the house. You don't want to have like one way in, one way out. There must be a second exit. Yeah. So you practice that with your family.
All right.
Right.
All right. Anything you want to add to that, Inspector?
We also advise persons that in homes, if you could install a smoke detector.
Yeah.
So, and you do regular training. Maybe every week, every Saturday, whatever time you do training. If there is any fire, there's great smoke, you advise or you train your children, you drop low, crawl out, right? If you for instance, you're caught on fire, we ask you to stop, drop, and roll.
Yeah.
So they know exactly what to do. So as Antoine rightly say, you always have a two-way out. In so you don't go in while you're going out. So you go out, always keep going out. So you have two exit route.
What about those random drills between your home? Is it important to do that also?
Yes.
I mean, somewhere you may decide, well, I have a fire alarm, and probably just set it off.
Yeah.
You understand? Set it off and see how the members of the family will react towards that.
It's very important that you have drill. As we say, redundancy is never. It just make you aware that that's the area you have to go, and that's what we have to do in the case of emergency. Also, smoke detectors. We advise person, if you put in a smoke detector, don't put it in to the kitchen area.
Yeah.
Put it more to the room area, because sometimes when they smoke, alarm go off. A lot of things could trigger it off.
Yes.
The cooking in the kitchen, the smoke there can, if you're too close to the kitchen. If you're in the room area, yes, it might trigger off maybe by dust or maybe by other things, but not by the smoke. So we advise person put it in an area that is not close to the kitchen.
But why do folks always think it's best to put it in the kitchen? Folks always think it's best to put the fire and the alarm in the kitchen.
But I guess that's where all the action, the action taking place in the kitchen.
But it's not always recommended.
Right. No,
it's not always
not in the kitchen.
For me, I recommend a heat detector in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Instead of a smoke detector.
Okay.
Any little smoke will trigger it off. But
I have certainly noticed going into individual home and a smoke detector is in the kitchen.
No, you should.
But I'm saying that could always easily be triggered, false alarm, because you're cooking and stuff like that. Smoke, so it's obviously going to trigger it. I always wonder, why is it in the kitchen? It's too obvious that it will be triggered by smoke in the kitchen. From time to depending on what you're cooking, there's smoke or fumes from that will cause that to trigger off.
Right. And in emergency plan, we always want somebody to be responsible. We have somebody responsible for that family. So you let them know, okay, we'll be going by that neighbor, or we'll be going into, so you have we call it a muster point. You have an area where they gather, and that area you make sure you have somebody responsible to the head count.
What about the instance when that person who is responsible is unavailable, or maybe becoming incapacitated themselves?
Then you have a plan B. Must have a plan B.
You always have to have somebody second in charge who will take up the mantle when you're out.
All right.
Sometimes we advise persons to, when there's an emergency, when you get out, you stay out.
Yeah.
And, if there is smoke, you crawl below the smoke. The smoke rises. We also advise persons that to call, if you see the early detection of the fire, you call fire department, because most of the persons see the fire, they try to attack it themselves, and when they realize it grew beyond their capacity, then they call the fire department, and then you would hear things that we always late or we come without water.
Yeah. But you always get a call after the fact.
After the fact. And that's how it is. We also, when you get the call, when you see this fire and you call, you got to be clear and precise, because sometimes you give us location, and we may not know where we're going based on the direction you give, and sometimes we overrun the fire.
Yeah.
And there's nobody by the road to give an indication is here we're going. So we need persons to be clear and precise where the fire is at, where give your location.
All right. I mean, and this is leading up to my next question, because I was saying in an event of an emergency, what is that exact number that individual should call first? Let me probably set that clear. Folks always think maybe I should call 911. I'm not saying 911 is wrong to call, but is there a direct link to the fire department that someone could call for stats?
Well, we have a direct number to call, which is 435-7270. Right. This is our emergency line. So you could call direct and report a fire. Yeah. If you don't know the number, then you can call 911 and they will transfer to fire department. Right. We even have a cell phone, 405-6881 as well.
Let's talk about specific information also. You did mention, proper location and so forth, but there's always that direct information you would like individual to give. I'll be specific about information that individual should provide to the fire department. Let's talk in relation to that.
Right. So when persons call to report any emergency, because keeping data and so forth, we like them to give us, first of all, report what it is. What is the emergency? Is a fire, say it's a fire, house fire, bush fire, or whatever. Then you give the exact location where that fire is. So if it's in St. Paul's, by the police station or behind the police station, give that. Those just say in St. Paul's. Okay. Right? We may ask questions. What type? If they give what type of fire, we may ask what type of fire. If it's a house fire, we'll ask. We may not ask what type of house, but we need the person's name. We may get the name. We need the name. We need the age, the occupation, and it's all because of data. We need that because of the system we operate on now. So when the appliance leave, we know exactly. Okay, Miss. So when we have radio two-way radio communication, yes. So we may call back on the radio and say, who's the person that called? So we will say exact by Miss Mary in the back of the station. So somebody when we go on our route, we may say, okay, Miss Mary live around here. We say, okay, lower down, and so we know because we get the right information.
All right. I mean, sometimes too, there's opportunities where you can see the smoke yourself.
Yes,
so
you can proceed. Yes,
there.
Right. Sometimes the person already extinguished the fire, but we need to get the location still.
Okay.
Because even though you extinguish the fire and we get there, we need to do investigation. Okay. Especially the house insure. Later on, the person may need some assistance. We need to supply a report. Okay. Okay. For them to get that assistance, stating that the house did destroyed by fire or what sort of damage.
The cause of the fire.
Yes.
Need that information.
So information is very important.
All right.
To us.
Let's talk a little bit about statistics. I mean, we haven't wrapped up. Of course, we are past the midway mark of 2026, 2025, 2020. What are some other statistics you roll out in terms of fires and so forth again? And if you do have that information to share with us this morning.
So for 2025 period, well, I want to give it from this period. Yeah. For April to June this quarter, we had this 36 emergencies, house fire was 6, rubbish 14, and bush 13. So that is for within that period 2025, from April to June
of 2025.
2025. All right. But for I will give you from January to this month. Yes. To June
of 2026.
Of 2026. We have 263 fires already.
226 from January to June of
2063.
263.
Yes, from January to now. We have 113 bushfires. Rubbish fire, we have 67. House fires, 21. Wow. Thus far. And there are other emergencies that we respond to cultivation, boat fire, and other things.
How concerning is these particular statistics for 2026 thus far? How concerning is that for you?
Well, every fire, one fire is always too much. So the statistics here is worrying. For now, for us, is worrying. We had a lot of people burning rubbish.
Yeah.
A lot of the bushfires. So it's sort of a great concern, and people not understanding that when you set these fires and we have to respond, it's another additional cost to our pockets by the amount of water, because remember, treated water we're using.
Yes.
So when we go to one fire, we have to use over 6,000-7,000 gallons of water.
And that's what one particular fire truck will hold.
Yes. So the truck holds some 1,800, and we have to make multiple trips, or we have to use the tanker, who hold at least 5,000 gallons of water.
That's water people who are having issues could have been using.
Right? And then now also the ministry will put up a no burning policy, and people will still go ahead and burn. And then they want to justify why they are burning. So,
I mean, looking at the statistics, it's concerning knowing that amount happened. Is there a particular geographical area in Grenada where we was having that a lot, per se, or is it just mostly all over the island?
Well, the statistics are all over the island, but this year we see a lot of fires in more of the agriculture area. People burning, cleaning up to plant. We had a lot of idle burning. Yeah, people burning the I think cane fields. People burn.
And that's when you get also control. That's when you know you get that call.
Yeah, people burning in these cane fields and so forth. So we advise person, please. Well, we're instead of the rain season now, so we're having less fires now. 1 or 2 rubbish. Well, we always have house fire. Don't need no season.
So true.
Right. So true. So the vegetation. Bushfires, they hardly have it now, but the rubbish and the house fires are more prevalent now.
Are you saying that home fires still is on the rise for the year thus far? Would you say that?
Yes, I will say that. Right. Yeah. Yes. One home is too much. Yeah. And partly every week we have at least 1 or 2 house fires.
That's triggering a whole lot. We're due for a break. Let's take it when we come back. We get into the final segment of the program. We'll give the opportunity to our listeners and viewers if you want to chime in, of course, on the conversation. Stay with us, and when we come back from the break, you have the opportunity to call in. 445-2041 when we come back after the break. Stay with us.
Hello, Grenada. This is Blackadan. On the 18th of July, I'm welcoming you to Radisson Hotel Car Park for the second installment of Groovy White.
Groovy White, a celebration of groovy music. Blackadan. Famanapi. Nyla Blackman.
It's your girl Nyla Blackman, and I will be performing live at Groovy White.
College boy Jesse. Christo. Alma boy, Angie boy, Happy boy, Inspector, Lava Man, Feline Mandela Links, Mr. Killer, Sabrina Francis, and Riggy Atmosphere. Grenadian host, BC, and live from Trinidad, Sunny Bling. General tickets, $100. VIP, only $500. Groovy White, Radisson Car Park, 8 p.m. to 2 a.m. Saturday, July 18th. Sponsors.
GBN Massology is back. We're officially on the road to spice up the Carenage 3.0. And it all starts here. Live from GBN Studios every Friday at 1:30 p.m. Streaming across GBN platforms, bringing pure energy, culture, and spice man's vibes straight to your screen. Hosted by Charlton, powered by Graphic Sound System, featuring fresh faces and seasoned stars. Massology is what the culture takes center stage. WhatsApp 407-8458 now to secure your spot on Massology. And don't miss the repeat broadcast at 8:30 p.m. This is Massology, the heartbeat of Spice Mass. Don't miss it.
Looking to take your business to new heights? Advertise with GPN on our social media platforms and get noticed by our 138,000 plus followers. Reach a massive engaged audience ready to connect with your brand. No matter your business size, GPN is here to help you grow. Contact us today at admin@gpn.gd or WhatsApp 407-8458 to get started.
Welcome back to our listeners. Welcome back to our viewers once again. To the point, Classic Radio GBN TV. As mentioned before the break, for you listeners and viewers out there, if you do have a question you would like to ask the officers from the fire department this morning, feel free to do so in this segment. I something that has triggered in my mind during the course of the break. I've been hearing, as listened to your story mentioned in terms of the statistics, penalties for that. Especially when it comes across people who deliberately light fires, especially the bush fires and so forth, leave it unattended. Are there laws that govern individuals or penalties for individuals who light these fires and leave them unattended? Maybe we could get that from the inspector. Could probably.
Yes, there are. There are penalties. The law states if you fail to adhere and you don't have the license to burn, and you go ahead and burn based on agricultural purposes, you can be fined and confined.
All right.
Yeah. The other one you can also be fined and confined. Both of them.
All right. You know, I'm always wondering because sometimes I don't usually hear of anyone having getting the consequence of lighting fires. Maybe it happens, but I certainly don't hear about it a lot. They don't hear about it. Well, Mr. X or Mr. Y lit fire and, you know, they got arrested or something like that sort, you know. We may hear for nature of arson or something like that sort.
Yeah.
But in case of lighted bushfires and stuff, sometimes, and when it gets out of control, we don't ever hear anything happening to anyone for that reason.
We do make arrests on persons. But most of the time when we arrest these persons, what happens is, we say negligence of the owner of the property because but I will go as the owner of the property. I will go and obtain a license to burn, and obtain the license to burn, and then I have Mr. Everest working for me, but I never give him the information on the license state to burn. So he just go ahead and burn. So he working in Croshoe, but you're in Para with the license. So he come out in Grenville, go to Croshoe, clean up your land, set the fire. You say, okay, I have license to burn, I get a license to burn, but you never give him the information what the license state.
Okay.
So when you go on this farm with this person, and yes, the boss say you have a license, they say we could go ahead and burn. And who's the boss? The boss there when you look for the boss.
Yeah, but then the responsibility now, is it on the boss or is it on the individual lighting the fire?
Well, I'll say the owner of the property, the boss. He is solely responsible because he that obtained that license. The person just working with him. Okay. So we do arrest persons. We do.
But sometimes the person that they get to set the fire, they are not in sound mind.
Okay.
Yeah. So going forward makes no sense.
Well, the owner of the property, the negligence is on you.
Yeah. That's where it comes to. The owner of the property becomes the person who will held responsible, because you get the permission, but when you get persons to work, you get persons that are not in sound mind. So they just go about and clean up. They know about just clean and set fire, and that's all. Right. So sometimes when you arrest that person, you bring them to the station, they can't even give you a proper
they don't
account of themselves.
I was just given the opportunity that some people say locally you get cheaply back.
So most time they will say, Mr. John just give us a walk, and they knows nothing. Then you ask them where they live, they can't even tell you. They don't even know their age. So.
And folks sometimes don't even understand the laws that governs in terms of lighting fires and stuff. Like folks don't even have that level of understanding. Don't even understand that.
Yeah, and sometimes people report the fires, right? And they fail to come to give a statement. You report a fire, we arrest the person, but who is the key witness? You know. So come to give a statement. People don't want to come and give a statement. So we call the person, we go to them. They don't want to give statement. They don't want to go to court.
All right. Creating false alarms also. How concerning is that? You know, I know it's been happening from time to time. Folks will just call the fire department and say there's a fire, there's no fire, and stuff like that. Any advice you want to give out? Of course, it seems like we're not getting folks maybe understand the nature of our conversation this morning. So we still have a few more minutes before we wrap. Folks who do that, I mean, is there any advice you want to give them to cease and desist from doing that? And I know it happens from time to time. Folks just feel, let me just make a crank call, tell the fire department there's a fire, and you get there, you know, where you could have been attending to something else.
Yes.
You understand?
Well, the Electronic Act gives us provision to arrest persons. Any information that is disseminated to any emergency department, to the police, you can be arrested for giving that false information. But this year, we see a great reduction in false calls. Yes, a very great reduction. People understand how it's important, you know, to not to give a false call, because it may be your neighbor making that false call, but your brother down the road was on fire, so we have to leave St. David's to come back to St. George's because of a prank call. So we urging persons, yes, the little that we get this year, we got this year, we're still asking persons to cease from doing it.
All right. Well, officers, we get into the stage of the moment we're going to take a wrap. I'll give you the opportunity to make that final, of course, which out there to listeners and viewers in terms of, you know, lighting fires, the do's and do's again. And so we take a wrap for today. Anything in closing?
Well, we want to say thank you to GBN, the rest of the media for promoting the fire department, where we can have a great reduction in some of the fires, not all, some of the fires this year. We also want to continue to work with the schools and children, you know, parents and children in the schools, teachers. We want to work with them because we have a program on now, where, you know, we go and we lecture to schools and show them the use of fire extinguisher. So we didn't touch on it, but it's important that we advocate for children and parents and even teachers to use the use of the operation of the fire extinguisher. So we advise homes and schools and business places to install a fire extinguisher in your premises and make sure you're properly trained to use it, because not just having it but properly trained. We also want to thank the fire personnel all over Grenada for their hard dedication, working dedication to duty, because it's not an easy task, and we have limited resources, but we get there and we do the job. So we appreciate that very much.
Even those that volunteer their time.
Yes,
also.
the volunteers. When I say everybody, I'm including the volunteer also.
All right.
Yes.
All right. Officers, I want to thank you once again for coming and sharing information this morning. It's highly appreciated when you come in and share. I certainly hope our listening and viewing audience will take it to heart and pay attention, especially to incidents where children are left unattended. That's mostly important around this time. You don't want to go out to work and then while you're at work, you hear your home has been destroyed by fire. It's not the kind of news you would like to hear at all. It's not the kind of news. So thank you once again, gentlemen, and
thank you,
best wishes for the rest of the day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, folks, that's where we're going to wrap today's edition of To The Point. Thank all who contributed. Have a good day, folks. That's where we say goodbye.